So this first poem, I'll go into the story about it later, but it's been something very intimate. And it's a poem that has lingered since I was 10 years old. And I finally finished it this morning because that's how sacred it is. It's called 2 a.m. Catch me, don't you? Catch me, won't you? Catch me. I've fallen in love for the first time. 2 a.m. the phone rang, tucked away in the confines of the Mission Barrio. A quiet eeriness swallowed that night sky. Mrs. Ramos, we have bad news, Death Angel spoke. My father's soul was stolen, and now electricity bills kept his pulse alive. I don't remember the car ride. I don't remember rushing out the house, but I do remember fishnets on small rectangle windows. I remember double doors pushed against my 10-year-old hands. I remember abandonment, but they didn't remember me. Children under 12 aren't allowed in intensive care, the pale nurse spoke, who seemed like a giant in more ways than one. But that's my dad. That's my family. That's my dad. The double doors returned to meet my 10-year-old hands. It's funny how a moment of minutes feels like an eternity when you stand alone and your only companion is a concrete structure your body presses against. Something you once despised is now comforting, and the longing for touch. While huddled in a half circle, my family stood. The chords of my heart prayed, surrounding his last heartbeat. How I wished to close that circle that day. Instead, isolated on another planet, I felt my first heartbreak and vowed it would be my last. I screamed, "You don't see me? Why aren't you looking for me? You said you would be back." I just wanted to say goodbye and resurrect forgotten words. Then I realized no one could hear a screaming heart except the hell that created it. First, they couldn't see me. Then they couldn't hear me. And so I ran away and have been running ever since. From any hurt that could ever love me, from any love that could ever heal me, I ran away. Until I encountered a love so vulnerable. The pain I unconsciously escaped became the conscious space I was running towards. And for once I felt still. And for once my legs were tired. And for once I heard the wishes and the quietness of whispered dreams. How I longed for him to become a part of my legacy. And so the image of fishnet windows reappeared. And so this unfinished poem haunted me. And so the longing for touch evaded concrete madness. And even in our physical separation, I never felt closer to any soul. But like him, he left too. And I broke my vow. But this pain was different. For I finally understood, in pursued humility, vulnerability manifests quiet dreams. For the chance to love and to be loved is worth the journey, is worth the pain, is the pain worth the joy. So I forgave my father. So I forgave him. The moment I forgave myself. And then the chains of abandonment released me. And as I fly into new heights, this poem comes to an end. Catch me, don't you? Catch me, won't you? Catch me, I've fallen in love. Thank you. Thank you. So the reason that life is beautiful, isn't it? Isn't life beautiful? Everything is connected. And it wasn't until I've been doing this work for some time, working with at-risk populations, trying to improve health outcomes. And maybe 2 years ago, I started working with the youth and transitional age youth and youth who were involved with so much unhealed trauma and some who were locked up in detention facilities. And I said to myself, how am I going to do this work and not really understand what I'm going through as a person? Because all I am is a mirror of their greatness. They do all the work. I'm just a reminder. And so that's when I made the conscious decision to understand who I was in a spiritual being. And it was a journey, but they brought that to me. And as I was doing this, I remember coming home one night and one of my youth gave me an essay that he wrote, and it was it was everything in terms of a reminder of our place in this world and why we are here and what community means. And when I read it, I started seeing this image of fishnet windows, and it was the last image that I saw when my dad was alive. I lost my father when I was 10. And, I have a beautiful mother who loves me. I have an amazing family. However, it's interesting, the loss of a father and what that does to a girl. And I didn't know how much it impacted me until I started getting into this work and getting deep in it, which meant knowing my soul. And so all of a sudden I was like praying one night, read the essay from my youth, and I seen fishnet windows. I seen those rectangle windows and the doors, and this poem was birthed. It was last year, but I could never finish it. And then this OG from the community who had been locked up for like maybe 25 years, and he's a poet, and I said, I don't know why I can't finish this poem. And he said, you know why? He said, I think it's because you don't want to let it go. You don't want to let go of that pain. He said, but when you're ready, oh man, he's like, swim in it and embrace it and feel it. And he's like, and once you find the courage and the power to do so, amazing things are going to happen. And so when I got invited by Tony, I was like, I think this is where my heart wants to go. And I was struggling for 3 weeks. I was like, fuck, I still can't finish this poem. And I was going back and forth, and then God has an amazing way of humor, doesn't he? Today I finished it. And it was hurtful, and I was with my amazing friend Suresh, who's here, and he was there with me, and I was crying, and I was like, this is like bittersweet to let it go. But it's all a part of my journey, and so we all have a journey to tell, a beautiful journey. And so please be open to whatever love and loss has for you, because there's always an opportunity for growth. And this is another one that I have. Can I share one more? Is that cool? All right, this is in honor of our people. This is what I wrote last year. And this poem actually is for Alex Nieto, Amilcar Perez Lopez, Mario Woods, and not our fallen but risen soldiers. Holla if you hear me. Can I get an amen? All right. Revolution is our love. Fear embraces the wings of death, their cloaks sewn by threads of hate. Like a thief in the night, they move in darkness, a coward's song to steal our lives. Was it our light that threatened your existence, or the fire in our hearts that left you weak? When we speak, heaven's gates open, a reminder that the Creator exists. Our power is too great for the oppressor. As we groove, our movements tantalize their minds. A relentless jealousy that feeds their belly, they hide behind bullets carrying a badge of dishonor. 59 shots. I said 59 shots. Broad daylight. Among the masses. No remorse. Target practice on our babies' bodies. Clouds of smoke. They smile, thinking they won. But as they reach for the crown, our spirits reappear, and hell is their only friend. For the power of our souls are ethereal, and at the fall of each equinox, the spiritual veil is lifted. We now haunt them in their dreams. Our legacy is our legacy, and lives in the spirit of our ancestors, breathes life into the depths of our people. Perseverance is our cord. The truth is fire, and will burn their house soon enough. Change will happen. Our babies will rise. This battle, our struggle, every push, sweat, and tear will bring a new dawn to a new day. And we won't stop. For justice is our armor. Redemption is our song. And the revolution is our love. All power to the people. Thank you.